Don't stop.
Oh, hello, good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness, this music is loud. Let me bring that down a little bit. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a live stream. It's me, Matthew, and it's lovely to see you all. Who do we have? Hello. We've got Branson Benson, hello, and Jet Screamer, and Artie Pavlov, and Rebel Parish, Crystal Wright. Good to see you. Elizabeth Tolentino. Let me move some of this stuff around so I'm not staring in every different direction. Here we go. Dave Rendon, hello. Michael Skinner, good to see you. Oh, and Mortab, lovely to see you joining us. Hello, how are you? Veronica and... Oh, Mr. Mortab. Literally, I'm about to call you Mr. Moore. Why not? Mr. Moore says, loved your MASH episode. As a 13-year-old, it was quite affirming to see it on television at the time. Wow, oh my gosh. You know, it's really rewarding for me to do videos about... stuff that people, like, you know, sometimes I'll do a video about something that is, like... 1950s or something like that, and not a lot of folks are like, I remember when that was on the air. So it is nice to do something that's more recent that folks can be like, I remember. Timothy Matthews, hello, good to see you. Nevermore, and Sophia Hughes. Veronica, lovely to see you joining. Sophia Hughes says, never heard of this person before, but always excited. These live stream videos have become part of my Sunday housework routine. Hope you and yours have been well, Matt. I have been well, a little sleepy, but mostly well. Mostly well. So anyway, I should probably mention what the plan is for today. We're going to be talking about Hollywood Montrose, the great Hollywood Montrose, played by the great Meshach Taylor in the movie Mannequin. Now, you may think, Mannequin, isn't that a bad movie? You'd be wrong. No, it is one of those movies that when it came out, people were like, ugh, because they were snobs. It is unfairly maligned. It is a hoot. I love it. I want there to be a musical version. I, unironically, in the same way I unironically love the movie Cats, I unironically love the movie Mannequin. Movie, I don't know, what are some others like that? House, fantastic House by Japanese director Nobuhiko Obayashi. What else? The Apple, Xanadu. Xanadu's got some slow bits, but these are movies that people are like, oh, they're terrible because they're not high art. Well, you know what? There's great stuff in all art. No, maybe not all art, but there's great stuff. There's great stuff. What are we talking about? I just accidentally, when I was looking for where that music was playing in the other tab, I accidentally closed the chat, and now I can't find it. I'm a bit of a mess today, aren't I? Here we go. Hello to, who else do we have here? Oh my goodness. I'm just going to scroll fast through the chat because there's a lot of folks saying hello. And hello to all of you, but I'm never going to catch up. Insect Warrior Jojo, hello. Rita Del Pilar, Zafra Ramos. Oh, just watched Mannequin. Wonderful. Mr. T-Bone doesn't like Mannequin. This may not be the stream for you. Dave says, sorry, I've missed so many of these. Started a job in Arlington in May. Well, hello to Massachusetts. Charles says, which version of Cats? All of them. I like them all. I don't think there's ever been a bad version of Cats. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes Cats good. It's just a hoot. It's everybody's having a great time. There's no bad Cats because everyone in Cats is having the time of their lives. They're all enjoying themselves. And that makes it fun to watch. Belle says, we must have watched Mannequin 1,000 times as kids. Here's the thing. It's one of those movies that was just like literally always on. It was always, well, it's 3:45 on a Tuesday. Time to turn on Comedy Central. Oh, or TBS or I don't know. I don't think it would have been on TNT. Anyway, looks like Mannequin's on again. And you're correct, video gamer. Mannequin was the bad one. Mannequin 2. The thing is, they're not really having as much fun in Mannequin 2. So we're going to talk about both. We're going to talk about what makes Hollywood Montrose, played by Meshach Taylor from Designing Women and a million other things, what makes this character, Hollywood Montrose, so special. He was a unlikely hero in the 1980s. The hero we didn't know we needed. He was unique among movie gay best friends. A real special figure. And can you spot him? Can you spot him in the sticker collection that I've got? The ever-growing sticker collection. I've moved some things around and shrunk a few other things, so they're not quite closing out on me so much because literally it was just like you could see the top half of my head before, and that's not enough of my head. You need more of that. John C. Lewis says, Mannequin on Broadway, I would buy a ticket for that. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Well, they did it to Xanadu. They took the movie Xanadu, Olivia Newton-John, and from the Warriors, and Gene Kelly, of course. And what a weird film. And adapted for Broadway. It was actually quite good. It had, what's his name? It's a great cast. In the lead was the guy from, he was on Glee and a bunch of other things. Oh, shoot, what's his name? Openly gay actor. Oh, well. But it's actually good. They fixed a lot of the plot problems from the movie and made it real catchy. And here's the other thing. Okay, Mannequin. Let me just give you some context here. 1987 is low-budget film. I think it was $8 million, which is not much for a movie, for a feature. It's got a great cast. It's got James Spader, the voice of Ultron. It's got Estelle Getty, of course, Sophia from Cheers. It's got Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City. It's got Andrew McCarthy, who was kind of a teen big deal at the time. And it's just a goofy, stupid rom-com fantasy about a mannequin who comes to life in a department store and changes a man's life. And it's look, at the start of the movie, it's like, this is going to get real dumb, everybody. So I hope you like having a good time and getting stupid. Anyway, so it's a real fun romp. And Hollywood Montrose, Meshach Taylor, openly gay character at a time when there were not many of those in movies, and a real hero. We're gonna watch my Mannequin video in about 50 minutes at noon. My new video that I've been chugging away on, and it is, I will say, Meshach Taylor's portrayal of a gay character, pretty good for the time. Anyway, Sheep Slayer says hello from South Africa. Hello to you in South Africa. Unholy Triforce says, watching your videos is like reading family history of being gay, and I love it. That's what I want. Family history. That's such a great feeling. Yes. Let's see. Agree to disagree regarding Cats. 2019 is just the James Corden and Rebel Wilson of it all. Has some bright spots, but they don't outweigh the bad. I don't love those decisions, but I think overall it's such a hypnotically bizarre experience that the even James Corden cannot ruin it, and that's saying something. Even try as he might, James Corden cannot fully ruin the film. I don't know if you all saw Andrew Lloyd Webber. This is really getting off on a tangent here. Andrew Lloyd Webber did a live stream, maybe like a year, maybe more than a year ago. It was a year and a bit ago, probably. He did a live stream reaction to the stage to screen Cats. So in the late 90s, I think it was 98, they did, they just plopped a camera down. It was a little more complex than that, but they did a version of a video version of Cats where they took a bunch of different members of different casts, put them all together, rehearsed, and then got some cameras and recorded it. And that's I don't know if that's streaming anywhere. There's bits and pieces of it on YouTube. Anyway, so last year, Andrew Lloyd Webber did a live stream of himself watching that. It wasn't you couldn't see it. You couldn't actually see the cats. You could only see Andrew Lloyd Webber looking off camera at a screen and mumbling every now and then about how he didn't like the movie adaptation from 2019. It was great. It was so fun. It was just him sitting silently, and you could kind of like hear the tinny sound of the thing in his ears because he was wearing headphones or AirPods or something. And my favorite part is he turns to the camera at one point. He's talking about Bustifer and what Bustifer, the character, is supposed to be, played by James Corden in the 2019 version. He turns to the camera and he talks about what Bustifer was meant to be. And then he says, do not be beguiled by other interpretations. Beguiled. Anyway. All my stars. All right, let's let me catch up with chat. This always happens. Y'all distract me, and then I get lost in the chat. Who else do we have? Deborah Battle. Because of babysitting. I see a lot of Montrose. My younger cousin loved watching Mannequin. It started at least once a month. Oh my gosh. James has a story about when he was young and it was on. He would see the listing for it in the TV guide, and he knew that he liked the movie, but he didn't know how to pronounce mannequin, so he would always call it Manequin. He's like, oh, Manequin is on, which I don't understand because they say the word mannequin in the movie, so wouldn't you just hear... Whatever. Insect Warrior Jojo says, I'm going to get Mannequin a DVD because I don't know why they were... It's not streaming anywhere. In the U.S., it's streaming in Germany for some reason. So if you can VPN your way into Germany, then you can watch it that way. Cheyenne Jackson. Thank you, Patrick. Cheyenne Jackson was in Broadway Xanadu. James Polk, I 100% agree. Gene Kelly, genuinely charming in Xanadu. Really more so due to his own talents. This is what I mean. He's having the time of his life. He's just having a ball. It's just Gene Kelly having a great time. Did I just refer to Estelle Getty as Sophia from Cheers? Whoops. Whoops. Maybe I did. For a much better version of Gay Best Friends, see 1982's Victor Victoria. I like Victor Victoria, but I find it a little serious. Is there a way to watch the old school Cats movie? I don't know. There might be bits of it on YouTube. You just have to Google. Around. Are you going to do an episode of Victor Victoria? That's truly groundbreaking gay characters. Actually, the impetus for the story and has his arc. Perhaps. It is on my list, Victor Victoria. Maybe, actually. I try to be careful and do things that people are familiar with, so I'm not like starting from zero and being like, all right, here's this obscure thing that you've never heard of, and let me explain the whole deal. So that's why I try to do stuff that people have watched or have memories of and stuff. And I think people clearly have memories of Victor Victoria, so I wouldn't rule it out. Changa wants to be beguiled. Hello, Changa. Good to see you. Changa with a new Star Trek video recently. Go check out Changa's Twitter or TikTok. You're TikTok famous, right? You're still doing the TikToks. Lay Black says, thank God that I'm German. Well, there you go. Everybody go watch Mannequin tonight. Here's the plan. Here's the plan for today. I'm sorry. Somehow opera, I don't know if y'all can hear this. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is still going in my ears. I turned it way down, but like this has been going full blast in my ears because I'm monitoring the music feed. Anyway, I'm going to turn that down so it's not screaming at me. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So here's the plan for today. We're going to live stream for a little bit. We're going to hang out. We're going to chat about, I don't know, gay movies and stuff like we do. Then at noon Pacific, so in about 45 minutes, we're going to watch my new video about Hollywood Montrose, the greatest gay 80s hero. I would even say action hero. Greatest gay 80s action hero in history. My salute to Hollywood. It's going to premiere at noon, about 45 minutes. And then going to do a little Twitch. Going to head on over to Twitch, play some Stardew. But the important thing that I also got to do today, now, I always like to go to the farmer's market after these streams because the farmer's market's right outside. Closes at 2 or 3? No. When does it close? 3. Closes at 3. But if you get there late, they're all sold out of everything. So we're going to do a little Twitch streaming after the premiere. But then I got to run to the farmer's market. And today is postponed Pride in Seattle. So the big Pride that they didn't do in June, they're doing outdoors. They blocked off the street outside. So I'm going to go to the farmer's market. I'm going to wander through Pride. I'm going to look for cute queers. Just look at people. That's the plan for today. Mannequins on Blu-ray, says Jenga. Being high def, I'm sure will help the film more. Honestly, here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about this in my video. The first Mannequin actually looks pretty good. It's shot nicely. It's art directed in a way that is actually fairly clever. I think it is worth looking at in HD, in 4K even. Okay, I need just a moment. My allergies. I got some allergies today. We're gonna do something about it. Hold on. Okay. Whoo! Yeah. So every fall it happens when it starts to get a little bit more humid. The mold in Seattle it takes over. Chang Husky's still on TikTok. Over 4,000 followers now. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Masquerade Noir. Hello. Good to see you. I like that merry-go-round horse. Glad to see that. Mushroom Official says, would you ever do a video about all the gay stereotypes that are most common in media and their origins? Literally all I do. That is, for that, I would refer you to my entire YouTube channel. Cat's Recording is available for streaming on Broadway HD. Well, there you go. And Eleanor says, also named Hollywood Montrose is so epic. I'm not sure about this. I think that might be a pun on locations in and around Los Angeles. I think there's probably a street somewhere where Hollywood and Montrose cross. I'm going to guess that's the origin of the name, even though the movie's set in Philadelphia, I know. But I think it's like a little in-joke with the screenwriters. I think. Because I did a search, like in old news archives for Hollywood Montrose, and I turned up a lot of news reports from, like, I don't know, the 1940s or something about things that were happening in Hollywood and also Montrose, California. T-Bone says, it's good to contrast Tootsie with Victor Victoria because the first one has not aged well, despite it being the serious cross-dressing movie. Lots of gay panic jokes in Tootsie. Are there? I don't remember that. Another Estelle Getty film, though. Estelle Getty briefly appears in Tootsie. And also, what's his name? The actor who plays Henry on Punky Brewster. Oh, Kristen Baker says they canceled Pride again this year where I live. I'm sorry to hear that. Ugh. I mean, so they did that here in Seattle. They did like an all online Pride, which just, is not the same. And now they're doing like a smaller Pride but outdoors, which is lovely. And they're bringing it back to Capitol Hill, which is also lovely. They used to do, for the last couple, I don't know, like 15 maybe years, Pride has all been down by the Seattle Center, by the Space Needle, which is nice because there's a lot of space. But here's the thing. It's not the gayborhood. They ought to do, this is what I think they ought to do, is just close down everything from Capitol Hill all the way down to Pioneer Square. Now, that's a big stretch, but Capitol Hill's a gayborhood now. It used to be Pioneer Square, like in the 1920s. There's still like little remnants of the gay bars. Like if you go down there, there's this like one awning outside a pawn shop that says casino dancing. There's this place called the Casino that was like a gay bar in the 1920s. And I don't know, I think it should be like a landmark or something. Anyway, so I think the Pride should be huge and go all the way from Capitol Hill all the way down Pike Pine to Pioneer Square. That's my vision. Just close down every street. You know what? Honestly, it's Pride. Close down all streets. Gay people don't drive anyway, so just make it a no cars day, and we're all just gonna do Prides. Caspian's here. Hello, good to see you. Belle Moore says Midnighter Apollo will definitely get a movie at some point. Masquerade Noir. Wait, I don't know what that means. What is Midnighter? Did you get a chance to see the Stockard Channing sitcom? Remind me what that is. The Stockard Channing sitcom. Oh, and Insect Warrior JoJo. Yeah, for sure. Buddy Cole, definitely on my list. Now, I have a video up on Patreon right now about Men on Film and some of the other gay black heroes of the 90s. Noxeema Jackson from Tu Wong Fu, of course. Who else? This is 70s. 80s, I guess more 80s. But this is actually 70s. The character from Car Wash, and then also the character from Revenge of the Nerds. So I've got a whole video up on Patreon right now about all those guys. And there was a mixed, I don't know if y'all remember the show In Living Color and the Men On skits, Damon Wayans and David Alan Grier. Controversial for the time. Really mixed opinion on those. Yeah, GLAAD did a survey around 91, 92 about how people felt about it. And it was like 100%, 50-50. It was 100% 50-50. Completely mixed. Like, right down the center, people were like, I hate it. And other people were like, I love it. So anyway, check that out. I've got that on Patreon right now. Do you know anything about Tacoma Pride? I do not. Do I? No, I don't know anything. It's a Carol Burnett official YouTube channel. It's uploading full episodes. Wow, official? And they're uploading full episodes? That's a little annoying because I paid for them recently. Not recently. I don't know, like a year ago. Because I was trying to find this one Anita Bryant joke that's on one episode. Turns out it's not even that good. Oh, well. But, I'm glad that they're uploading them so more people can see them. I've not seen the Seattle Kraken thing. I'm interested in just the name of it, but I'm not sportsy, so I don't know. The Kraken, I think they're the hockey team. They're the new hockey team. Is that correct? We're getting a new hockey team because we're also getting a new hockey arena. Do I have that right? I literally am a local news reporter, but oh well. Agreed. As the street thinks it's Belmore. Yes, Pride should always be outdoors and raucous and, I don't know, break some windows. No, don't break the windows. Don't break the windows unless they deserve it. I feel a lot of the gay panic jokes are at the expense of homophobes in Tootsie, like most of the soap opera cast, especially the cheesy arrogant star. There is a pretty bad transphobic joke at the end of Soap Dish. But Tootsie, I think that's how I remember it. I think I remember Tootsie being like, the homophobes are the butt of the joke. I think. Bub says, did you catch Q-Force? I have not yet. I have some friends who are on that show, so I do want to see it. I'm withholding judgment for now, because I know there was a lot of judgment about that show. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a chance. I want it to be great. That's all I'll say about that for now. I haven't seen it, but I want it to be great. Let's see. Artie says, I was surprised to find an openly gay character from a very old D&D adventure from 88, Ruins of Adventure. No fanfares. The description says the dude is in love with the guild leader. Male. Wow. That's very rare. Oh, Video Gamer, anticipating what's going to be in the video coming up at noon. Estelle Getty also appeared in stage production of Harvey Firestein's Torch Song trilogy. We're going to be talking about that. Do you think the movie version could benefit from a remake? I don't know. The movie version of Torch Song trilogy is pretty good. Also, Harvey's a little old for the role now, so I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine anyone but Harvey in that role. Obviously, lots of people have been in that role besides Harvey. But, yeah, I don't know. A remake of Torch Song Trilogy? Do we need it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just imagining it with, it would be with, the pretty famous gays now. It would be like Zachary Quinto and Jim Big Bang. What's his name? That guy. You know the guy I mean. And I don't know, who else? Who are and Neil Patrick Harris? I don't know. I feel like it would all be they'd all be marketably beautiful actors in a way that, I don't know. In the 80s, actors weren't afraid to look more real, like real people. Now I feel, like actors have to look gorgeous in everything they're in nowadays. I sound like a real old person, don't I? I'm familiar with the comic strip AJ and Magnus, one of the gayest and funniest. No, I've not heard of that one. I don't know that one at all. Soccer Channing, 1979 series Just Friends, episode about a gay gym opening a competition with her own gym that she manages. Oh, never heard of it. Anthony, Victim is on my list. I've thought about doing that one, but that's a tough one because like I was saying before, I like to do topics that people are at least somewhat familiar with. So usually if it's something like Victim, which is great and important and a significant movie, helped bring about the end of the Hays Code that prevent gay people from appearing in films. But I'd really be starting from scratch on educating people about what that is. So I like to start with something that people are at least passingly familiar with. Not everybody knows what Mannequin is, but at least you probably have heard of it at some point. Catface says, what kind of headphones are these? I have no idea. They are ATH M50s from Audio-Technica. As you can see, they've been around for a couple of years. Yes, it's a hockey team. Okay, good. Did you see the Stonewall exhibit at Mopop? I just tried it yesterday and loved it. Yes, I went. I actually did a panel about the Stonewall exhibit at Mopop. It's really good. It's really good. If y'all are in Seattle, go to Mopop, Museum of Pop Culture. They got a really great. They got a bunch of great exhibits. They've got one right now with Disney costumes. It's like the actual costumes that the characters or the actors wore. I highly recommend it. It is fascinating to get like really up close with those costumes and see how they're made. It's just like the detail is incredible. Anyway. Midnighter is a gay analog of Batman, also the husband of a gay Superman analog named Apollo. Oh, all right. I'm not familiar with those. What publisher are they on? Bosom Buddies might be an interesting look back. Not particularly that I'm aware of. Not particularly queer. You know, there's like, we're men dressed as women. But like, in terms of gay queer stuff, I don't remember there being a lot on Bosom Buddies. Seth R says, big fan, thank you. Oh, seen you filming, photographing stuff all around Seattle. If you see me out and about, do say hi. It's nice to say hi to folks. Don't be shy to say hi. Jim Parsons, that's his name. Thank you. Yeah, it's fine for an older movie to be an older movie, says Ewan or Tashlin. We just don't need to remake everything. I don't think I would describe Jim Parsons as gorgeous. Oh, the shade. Oh no. Well, let's see. I so love Soap Dish and hated it goes transphobic at the end. I know. Oh, it's such a good movie. And then you get to that transphobic bit at the end. Yeah, it's frustrating. Hollywood casting didn't only hire 10s. There were people all the way down to 5 and 6. Yeah, all the way down to 5 and 6. Yes, Emily, that's what I was thinking of. Boys in the Band with Zachary Quinto and Jim Parsons. Like, everyone just looks great. Mike loves Boys in the Band. Can't wait for Matt to do an episode on it. It is on my list, but you know, I want to be careful with that one too because it's a real bummer that Boys in the Band is it's a real like, oof, it's heavy. So I don't want to like make everyone super unhappy because it's hard to talk about without talking about like just how miserable everybody in that movie is. Have you delved into the movie The Ritz? Oh, that is a fun one. That might be like kind of a side note in a video. Because again, like it's not like super well known. But I was thinking a while back and kind of dropped it. I was thinking about doing a video about like bathhouse movies. What was the one I watched? I watched one about the Continental Baths. It might have been just called The Continental. Anyway, I watched a movie about the Continental Baths. It was like, there might be a video here. And then kind of dropped it because I didn't like have a good angle on it. But The Ritz might be a good topic. If you can't get to Mopop, Lady Rebecca Fashions. Oh, did a cute video on the Disney costumes exhibit. Lovely. Oh, well, that sounds wonderful. Apollo and Midnighter DC. Oh, okay. I haven't come across them. James says there's an article, I forgot the name, that argued that contemporary movies don't feel lived in anymore. Everything is sleek and Apple iPad sleek. It does feel like everything feels new in a lot of movies. I think that was one of the big revelations in the 70s when they... movie industry wasn't quite sure. There was kind of a crisis in the 70s where they were like, what do people want movies to be about? Hollywood, the industry was like, we literally don't know how to make movies that people want to see anymore. And some of the big revelations were, movies like Easy Rider and Star Wars, where things look dingy and lived in and had more verisimilitude. Oh, Sleepaway Camp. Oof. Kristen, that is not a bad idea. Although it's really the punchline at the end of that movie. Sorry to call it a punchline. I don't know what else to call it, but the payoff, I don't know. The big shocker at the end is really the one big moment there to talk about. Patrick says, Torch Dog Trilogy was the first movie I saw with openly queer content. Love that movie. Led to my short stint at Miss Polyester Disco lip-syncing drag queen. That's fantastic. I love that you got that from the movie. I also have a hard time picturing anyone. Yeah, Video Gamer has a hard time picturing anyone but Harvey Firestein in the Arnold role. Harvey had to cut a lot of things in order to make 3 stage scripts into a 90-minute movie. Yeah, Torch Dog Trilogy, great. It's great. It's got young Matthew Broderick and, of course, Estelle Getty. Before Golden Girls. Wait, when did they make the actual movie? When was the movie from? Because she was on Broadway. It was 88, so like post Golden Girls. So Estelle was on Broadway, and she had like a few like minor movie roles. Like she was in Tootsie, and she was in what was that Cher movie? She's in a movie with Cher. I want to say Moonlighting, but that's the show with Bruce Willis and Clumpy Bumpkins. No, what's her name? Oh well, you know what I mean. Moonstruck? Is that the Cher movie? Anyway, Estelle had been in a bunch of movies, and then she was on Broadway in this big hit play with Harvey Fierstein, and then she got cast on The Golden Girls. She thought they wanted her for Dorothy. Can you imagine? I mean, I can, but would have been a different show. Yeah, Torden says how Star Wars was somewhat notable. There was sci-fi that looked actually lived in. I do like sci-fi that does that, when it's not just like all, like the shrink wrap is still on the spaceship. Oh, Caspian says, if you're ever worried about covering unpopular media, I can't speak for anyone else, but I will literally watch anything you put out. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because we'll see. We'll see how this mannequin video does. I have a lot of doubts about whether this was a good idea to do a video about mannequin. We'll see. It's going to be fun. Oh, Mask. That's the one. Michael. Yes, thank you. Mask. Masquerade Noir wants a video about history of queer superheroes. I do have that on my list of stuff I might do. There's just a lot of research that would have to be done for that one. Emily saw a Netflix show called Super Drag. Originally in Brazil, they dubbed it over drag queens like Shangela Willem. I remember when that came out and people were dissatisfied with it. I didn't watch it myself. Moonstruck is Cher. She was in Mask. Yes. Estelle played Cher's mom in Mask. Whew. Oh, Olympia Dukakis. You're right. Estelle Getty isn't in the movie of Torch Song Trilogy. It's Olympia Dukakis, also in Tales of the City. Emily says, whatever happened to Stockard Channing? Well, here he is right here. No, Stockard Channing. I always confuse Stockard Channing, Channing Tatum, and Tatum O'Neal, and Ryan O'Neal. All four of those people, I can never remember which one is which. I do like Mortep, yes. Rita Moreno singing Everything's Coming Up Roses. Oh my God. It's a real highlight of that film. I do recommend, I recommend a lot of stuff, but I do recommend the Ritz for that Everything's Coming Up Roses. Yes, and Seth, did you see that Fran Drescher, elected president of SAG-AFTRA, new president, Fran Drescher, congratulations to the nanny. For her for successful campaign. Now, I don't know what exactly the duties are of the president of SAG, but congrats to her. Speaking of Sybil Shepherd, have you talked about The Last Picture Show, an ode to Billy Joe? No, I have not. I don't think I'm familiar with those. Surikin says, yes, who wouldn't watch a movie about Kim Cattrall as an Egyptian girl? Okay, there's so many things. Let's get back to Mannequin. So many things to love about this film, Mannequin. And there's one or two things to love about its sequel, Mannequin on the Move. Weirdly, not Mannequin 2. Everyone calls it Mannequin 2. It's not Mannequin 2. It's just Mannequin on the Move. It's no number in the title. Anyway, Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City plays an ancient Egyptian spirit, and she just, of all the people to cast, you're like, all right, we need an Egyptian actress. Get me Kim Cattrall. Different time, I guess. Video Gamer says, I can picture Estelle Getty as Dorothy, but can you imagine Rue McClanahan as Rose? Oh, yeah, she auditioned for that role. So, Rue McClanahan auditioned as Rose, and Elaine Stritch auditioned as Dorothy. Imagine Elaine Stritch. I feel like we'd have gotten a less vulnerable Dorothy had Elaine been in that role. Elaine Stritch, what would you know Elaine Stritch from? Oh, she was Jack's mother on 30 Rock. So that actress, and of course she is the one who sings Ladies Who Lunch, if you're old enough and gay enough to remember that. What else? I'm trying to think of other big, mass media Elaine Stritch roles. Not a ton. She's mostly a Broadway baby. Oh no, and what about Carol Channing? You don't get her confused? Who could confuse Carol Channing with anyone? There's no mistaking Carol. No, I don't. I have some Liza, just to give you a little tease. There's a touch of Liza in the video you're gonna watch today. I almost said you're gonna work. Yeah, you're gonna work. No, there's a little bit of Liza in the video that you're gonna watch in about a half hour. We're premiering. Now, just to give you a little heads up, when the live stream ends, it should automatically send you over to the live stream. I mean, to the premiere of the new video. When the live stream ends, it should send you over automatically to the new video. Sometimes it doesn't always work if you're on a Roku or some certain devices. So just so you know, there's also a link in the description of this live stream. So if it doesn't send you over, You can click on the link in the description. And then we're going to head over to Twitch. We're going to play some video games. Going to hang out, play some Stardew probably. And then I'm going to go to Pride, because there's a Pride happening like literally a block away over on the street. There's a Pride on the street. So we're going to go to that. I mean, I'm going to go to that. You can go to that too if you're in Seattle. And if you see me, say hello. I'll tell you who I'm going to be looking for is I saw there's some furries out. I'm going to be looking for the furries at Pride. I think it would have been amazing since Lionel. I know. Had we gotten that Elaine Stritch on I almost said Cheers again. Why am I calling Golden Girls Cheers? Had we got Elaine Stritch? I mean, had we got Elaine Stritch on Cheers? Jesus. As Sunny. No, who would Elaine Stritch have been on Cheers? I guess Carla. She's kind of a Carla, isn't she? Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Anyway, how did you trick me into talking about more sitcoms of the 1980s? If you do a history of queer superheroes, this is Tatsu. For at least Marvel, checking out the recent Pride anthology. Oh my God, I know Anthony's got he's single-handedly queering Marvel. Somebody's got to do it since they're not doing it themselves. So I'm very happy about Anthony Oliveira, my good friend on the other side of the continent, putting out some good queer superhero stuff. Jen says Channing's from Real Wealth, who role in 6 Degrees of Separation she drew from Life. Wait. Stockard Channing. Who's in 6 Degrees? Which Channing is in 6 Degrees? Now I've been thrown into... Carol Channing is not in 6 Degrees of Separation. Or is she? Carol Channing, I thought, came from pretty modest means. Like, she grew up in San Francisco. She was a San Francisco cat. She actually was born in Seattle. I was going through old Seattle newspapers and found Carol Channing's birth announcement a while back. Her father was the editor of the paper, so he printed this huge picture of baby Carol Channing in the paper. Which you can still find if you go on like newspapers.com. It's up there. Anyway, what was I saying? Which Channing? Which Channing is in 6 Degrees? You've broken me. 6 Degrees of Separation. Stockard Channing. Okay, Stockard Channing. I mean, Stockard Channing just feels like a rich person name, doesn't it? Seth is just old enough to have been the wrong audience for Mannequin. I was 5 when it came out, so Meshack Taylor was Anthony from Designing Women in my life. Here's the wild thing about Anthony from Designing Women. A lot of people wrongly misremember his character in Designing Women is gay. Like, I've had multiple interviews with Designing Women fans who talk about how Anthony on Designing Women was a gay role model for them. And I don't want to be like, actually. Like, I don't want to be like a well-actually person about that, but I don't know what it is. Is it because people identify Meshack Taylor so closely with Hollywood that they just sort of transpose that over onto Anthony from Designing Women? He was, like, I don't think there was ever anything remotely queer about the character. He actually was engaged. I can't remember if they got married. I don't think they got married on the show. His fiancée was played by Jackée Harry, the fantastic Jackée Harry, who will also be appearing briefly in the video that you're about to see. James and I have been watching a bunch of 227 clips recently. Man, oh man, that's a good show. It's not streaming anywhere for some reason. But 227, fantastic. Didn't run quite as long as Golden Girls. I think it was 85 to 90. But fantastic, originated to the show 227, originated as a Marla Gibbs vehicle because people loved her on The Jeffersons, and they were like, all right, let's give this actress a show. But the problem was that Jackée Harry was she was so magnetic on that show, you just can't look away from her. I mean, of course, you may know Jackée Harry as from Sister. What else would you know her from? She was on, what are like her big roles? I mean, Sister is probably the big, more recent one. She was a voice of a Transformer at one point. What has she done more recently? Gosh. I honestly can't think. She's just so iconically Sandra from 227 to me. Caspian says, furries are always a pride and conventions. Yes, always a highlight. Gio says, love your bunny. Really dig your bunny side interpretation. Best of luck running into the furries. Yep, that's, wait, nope, this way. This is going to be me out at Pride. It's almost cold enough that I can dress in this jacket and hat. Satari-kun says, I always combine the ending to Mannequin on the Move with the ending to Naked Gun with a parade. Is it? Okay, we're going to talk about this in the video as well. Mannequin on the Move ends with a spaceship for no reason. There's been no space anything in the movie up until that point, and then just abruptly, suddenly, for no discernible reason, there is a spaceship. Why is it there? Emily says, how hot is it in Seattle? I don't know how furries would tolerate extreme humidity. It's not too bad. It's a little humid today. It's a little muggy. It's like, I don't know, 75? So comfortable. They were out there in the park. The furries were out there in the park when it was in like the hundreds. It was up over 100 and they were out in the park and I was so worried about them. I just, you must hydrate, please. Gene Smart is from Seattle, says Seth R. I didn't know that. Oh, there's some great Seattles. There's some real good Seattle babies, huh? Jen says, my grandma saw Carol in Vegas and brought me a pace tiara and gigantic ring. His kids was so fabulous. Oh, Carol Channing. I thought you meant the movie Carol. I was like, what? Oh, a tiara and a gigantic ring. That's, oh gosh. What a hoot. Carol Channing. Carol Channing. That's all. Just Carol Channing. Should that be my next t-shirt design? BT Dubs. I've been doing t-shirt designs lately. Right now I'm wearing my Honk If You Heart Sodomy. Right there, which you can get. I think you can buy it through YouTube now. I think if you go to the description, depending on what device you're on. Actually, Honk If You Heart Sodomy might not be up because it's a little dirty. But if you go to my T Public store, it's on there. I didn't want to put it on Spreadshirt because I was afraid like sodomy would get me banned. But anyway, should that be my next t-shirt design? It just says Carol Channing, or I think we all agree Carol Channing. Mishak was gay in the Mannequin movie, says Left Albuquerque. Was he ever? We're going to be talking about that. Don't worry. My first Mishak Taylor movie was Double Toil and Trouble, and I adored him in that. I always thought of Mr. N as a very queer character. I don't think I've seen that. Mishak, funny story. He got the name from, so it's not his original name. I think it was Bruce or Barry, but he got it from the Bible. And I don't know why. I don't know why he picked that name. But it's the story of three people, and I forget the other one's names, but the story of three people who like would not renounce their faith. And so Mishak Taylor was like, all right, well, that name is too hard to pronounce, and that one's too hard to spell, so I'm going with Mishak. Also a little hard to spell, I gotta say. 2 H's in Mishak. Anyway, so that's how we got the name Mishak. Picked it out for himself for some reason. Oh boy. Seth, is Drew Mackey from Gayest Episode Ever as hot in person as pics on Twitter? Hotter even. Look at you thirsting over Drew in my chat. Go let him know. That you like his pics. Maybe you have already, but I'm sure he would appreciate it. Or go let him know that you like his show, Gayest Episode Ever. Fantastic podcast. I listen to it all the time about gay episodes of stuff. And they just started a new show called The Cartoons That Made Us Gay. Jet Screamer says, hello from a parking lot in New London. Hello. Are we talking New London, Connecticut? That's not so far from where I grew up. Good old New London. Eleanor is making lunch and then coming back for the premiere. Have a good lunch. Yeah, Changa says, cooling vest. There are a bunch of cooling vests you can wear on the suit that helps. I don't think they're wearing, like, I don't know them personally. They're like friends of friends. I haven't seen them wearing the cooling vest. I'm just like so worried about them. Yeah, but Caspian says, bold of you to assume anything can stop a furry. Yes, that's the name, Charles. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abnego. Those are the names. I'm delighted that there are folks familiar with Bible stories in the chat, because in the upcoming video, there is a blink and you miss it. I will be extremely impressed. There is a very brief Bible quote in the video that you're going to be watching in about 15 minutes. It's hidden in there somewhere. If you can pick it out, I don't know. I don't really have a prize for you, but I don't know. Here's what I'll do. I'll send you some stickers. I'm getting the stickers made of some of my other designs. I don't have them here. I'm getting stickers made of Thank God I'm Queer and Queer Power. So if you can pick out the Bible quote in today's video, let me know. Send me a DM on Twitter and I'll send you some stickers. Video Gamer says, I'll buy a t-shirt that says sodomy will get you banned. Lounging Dave's like, oh, Stalker Channing. Yes, Stalker Channing in 6 degrees. All right, we've established which Channing is in 6 degrees of separation. Masquerade says, if you ever read AJ and Magnus, you'll love Roz. She's fabulous and she gets revenge on a homophobe. Well, I like that. Jet Screamer says, yes, Connecticut. Woo, the Nutmeg State. I don't remember why it's called the Nutmeg State. It's also got a Constitution oak or an elm. It's got a Constitution tree. Anyway, and that's what I remember about Connecticut. Charles says, my dad was a Disciples of Christ minister. Kind of goes with the territory of being a PK. What's a PK? And Emily's dad was an army chaplain's assistant. Wow. A lot of kids of Bible folks. Just says, I bring more flame to New London than Benedict Arnold did. Stop it. Oh, okay. Okay, some obscure queer Revolutionary War stuff. Speaking of obscure queer Revolutionary Warness, check out my Patreon. I got a video last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week about the underwear parties in George Washington's camp at Valley Forge and his gay general. Was he a general? Advisor, at least. Wilhelm von Steubing. Gay, as far as we can tell from the historical record, probably. Gay advisor who helped win the Revolutionary War. Was super gay. Had underwear parties. Check out my Patreon for that. Jen says, no Bible. I'm familiar with the Beastie Boys song, Shadrach. Oh, okay. That's also good. I didn't know they had one of those. Oh, Mike says Anthony Rapp is also in 6 Degrees. Maybe it's time for me to watch it again. Literally have not watched that since college. So, a million years ago. PK, is Preacher's Kid. Okay. This is not something, this was not a part of my childhood. So I come to, honestly, it's not so different from how I come to sitcoms. So we did not watch, you may be shocked to learn, did not watch a lot of TV growing up. And so that's why I'm just power watching television now as an adult. Now that I can, I just want to watch everything. So not a ton of TV, very little television growing up. And also no religion growing up. There was literally no religion in our house. I mean, we celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah because they were my parents' traditions, but there was nothing religious about the observation. We would just, light a menorah because it was fun. Like, there was no information for us about what the meaning of it was. And same thing, Christmas tree. We had a Christmas tree because it was fun. In hindsight, don't put the menorah close to the Christmas tree. That could have been bad. Nothing ever happened. But thinking back to that now, I'm like safety-conscious, worried, perpetually anxious adult. I'm like, geez, why do we have a dead pine tree right next to open flame? Emily says, underwear party sounds super gay. Oh, you can't even imagine. So basically, here's the short version of the story. You can get the whole thing on my Patreon. Is this advisor, this George Washington's advisor, who was kind of a fraud, was not exactly who he claimed to be, would throw parties, at least one party. We have one record of one party that he threw where the rule was no one will be admitted that has on a whole pair of breeches. So you had to have at least you had to have your underwear, or maybe if you were not wearing underwear, more showing. Caspian says, my mom's family is religious, the homophobic kind. Ooh, not the cool kind, but lucky for me, they never had much to do with her. Yeah, that sucks. Have you ever seen Mannequin or the sequel at Central Cinema in Seattle? Love that place for watching old movies and stuff. No, I would love. So we were talking at The Stranger about doing midnight movies because we thought at this point, we were like, oh, well, surely by autumn, movie theaters will be open again. How young and innocent we were. But I would love to do a midnight screening of Mannequin. Maybe not so much Mannequin 2. Maybe just the highlights of Mannequin 2. There's some good bits. There are some good bits, but it's a tough one to make your way all the way through. Sophia says, would you ever consider doing a video on beards in Hollywood media? Maybe. That's an interesting idea. That one would take a little bit of thought to really explain the function of a beard. Basically is a female character who is paired with a male character to give him some sort of plausible masculine coding. They're like, no, I'm not gay. Look, there's this woman that I'm dating. That would be an interesting one. I'm trying to think of good examples of that from movies, like good beard characters from movies. Mortep with the history. People from Connecticut were called nutmeggers as a pejorative term, except people carved wood into small nuggets that looked like nutmeg and sold it surreptitiously as nutmeg. Oh, I didn't know that. Was that just people in Connecticut were trying to scam the spice trade? That's great. That's great. I can't believe that it's like what the state is called now, but it was like an insult. Masquerade Noir, lives in Alabama. Ooh, liberal part of Alabama, but I bet the liberal part of Alabama is still a bit rough. Vince saw Mannequin in the theater in the first run. How did the audience like it? I am very curious about the contemporaneous response to that movie because I was looking at reviews, critics, not a fan. Critics did not care for Mannequin. Ebert, who I normally agree with, Roger Ebert, not really into the movie. The thing, though, is, and this is weird, Ebert, not great about camp. Just doesn't seem to have a camp sensibility, which is bizarre because he wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. So you'd think he'd have some awareness of it, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem to appreciate goofy, stupid films. I don't know. Maybe he's a snob. Yes, Eleanor, it's true. I write for The Stranger. I'm on the furry beat, not exclusively. I write about video games. I write about comic books. I write about furries. I write about nature and water infrastructure because I think it's just one of my weird fixations. I think sewers are really cool. So I write about sewers when I have the opportunity for The Stranger. So I do. They have proof of vaccination at Central Cinemas. Right now it's open. Oh, that's good. I'm glad that they're back open at least. I don't want to do events. I don't want to host events where I'm like, hey, everybody, come into this indoor space. I just don't feel great about that right now. Oh, Richard said Mannequin on the Move is available on YouTube. Okay. Don't feel any pressure. Don't feel like your life is valuable and precious. Don't feel like you need to spend it watching Mannequin on the Move. Mannequin 1, the first one, I actually think is a good movie. Not great. Not the best. Something to watch while you're doing something else, maybe. But it's a good time. I think it's just a good time. And every song in it, fantastic. There's only like 3 really, but it's got some real good songs. Imagine the starship at the end of Mannequin on the Move may have been referencing the Starship song, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. That's what I was thinking, Starry-kun. That's my only theory there, is that's the Jefferson Starship. Jenkins says, what did Ebert think of Waters' film? Oh, well, so famously, he refused to give it an actual star rating. He said, at least with Pink Flamingos, he said that stars are an insufficient response to what John Waters has created. It is not a film, it is a fact. So that's how Ebert responded to Pink Flamingos, at least. Oh, Stargood says, Shadrach was a mildly popular song in the 60s. All right, I don't know that. Oh, Jill Friedman, Mannequin lived alongside Princess Bride and Spaceballs, my homesick comfort movies. Those are great. That is a great triple feature. Mannequin, Princess Bride, and Spaceballs. I'd put Princess Bride at the end. Spaceballs maybe in the middle. Yeah, Mannequin, Spaceballs, first Mannequin, then Spaceballs, then the Princess Bride. This is a great game, and we're going to play this the next time I do a live stream. What is your homesick triple feature? What 3 movies? Think about it. We're going to talk about it next time I do one of these live streams. Oh, Artie's buddy wrote up a huge sewers on Waterdeep page of the Forgotten Realms. Oh, wonderful. That's getting me excited. Edric, yeah, sewage is cool and saves lives. I just like tunnels is the thing. I just really like underground tunnels. My excuse for why I like sewers is I'm like, because they're so complicated and they're so vital and they, save people's lives because they produce sanitation. Really, I just think underground tunnels are cool. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is not surprising from Ebert because his personal kink is Russ Meyer. Yeah. Him and Russ Meyer were friends. He and Russ Meyer were friends. James says, yes, I do write about the sewers of Seattle. Sewers of Paris, to which I have been. Sewers of Seattle, I have not had a chance to tour the sewers of Seattle yet. Let's see. Yeah, Torden, it's not a film, it's a fact. Be so flattered by that review. Funky, I did not have the Turtle sewer play set. I had the Turtle Mobile or whatever it was called. What was the vehicle? I had the big vehicle. And I had the turtles that wouldn't stand up, the ones that you just could not get them to stand correctly. So you had to have like a little peg on their foot that went into a little stand to get them to stand. Anyway, that's what I had. It is almost showtime, says Inigot. Nearly there. 5-ish minutes until the premiere of the new video. Mario says, first topic of yours, I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for Rantasmo's old vid. Well, here we go. Yeah, do check out Rantasmo. Fantastic, needs more gay YouTuber. But yes, in about 4 or 5 minutes, we're going to head on over to the premiere. In case it doesn't warp you there automatically, there's a description. In the description, there's a link. We're going to watch my new video. It's about 20-ish minutes. I think it's like 22, maybe. And then heading over to Twitch to do a little fun and games on Twitch, play some Stardew, hang out, and then I'm going to go to Pride and the Farmer's Market, maybe get some cheese. Fulani says, since you've done a video about George watching underwear parties, what about his intersex general Casimir Pulaski? Oh, I'll look into that. I'm not so familiar with that one. Stephen Child says, a video of queercore music. Ooh, that's also a good idea. That's something I do not have a ton of knowledge about. Oh, and Mike says, read up on the lost rivers of London. Various tributaries to the Thames were basically bricked over by centuries. In some cases, nobody knows where they are today. I love that stuff. I love daylighting old creeks. I'm obsessed with that. There's a great one here in Seattle that was recently. It was like an underground, it was buried underground creek, and then they daylighted it and exposed it, and now it's like landscaped and lush and gorgeous. I love when that happens. I could go on and on and on about it. It's incredibly boring if you're not interested in it, so I will not. Seth says, any recent documentary recommendations? Oh, it's not a documentary. I was going to say 120 BPM. Or is it just BPM? I think it's just BPM. But what's a documentary that I would recommend? Kiki? It's a couple years ago, but it's kind of an update to Paris is Burning. Yeah, Graham says, Pride and Stardew when? Every day. Caspian says, you in the tunnels is like when I try to explain my Muppets love is being interested in the effect they had on culture and making tech, and the tech, but actually just like making things silly voices and Fraggles. I bored some people to tears at a party a while back. I was just went off about the Muppets, and I realized like I've just been monologuing for the last 10 minutes about the Muppets. Sorry, everybody. That's why I get invited to parties. All right, we are going to wrap it on up over here. And hopefully it'll send you over to the new video, the Hollywood Montrose Mannequin's Gay Hero, premiering in 2 minutes, according to YouTube. That's very soon. All right, so we're going to wrap it on up over here. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for spending this little pre-video time with me. And we're going to see you over in the chat for my mannequin video. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to stop the stream. I always mess it up. Yoop.
Don't